one by one, just so the audience can get a quick look at them, and then of course they'll come back with their individual presentations. You know, Aaron, you look at these guys tonight as opposed to this morning, and the judging is live. I mean, this ain't like the old days where it was pretty much done after the pre-judging.
Right, Bob.
So the judges are looking at these guys tonight.
And things can change tonight, so we could see a flip-flop between a place or two. Some guys, maybe some surprises tonight. It's always exciting to see these guys judge and what they can bring condition-wise, the difference between the pre-judging and the night show. They got what, Bob? 6 or 7 hours to dry out and look a little bit harder for the night show.
And I've seen guys change in minutes on stage. So if you don't think, a few hours will make any difference, you're mistaken. And a lot of the athletes have been mistaken in that over the years, Nick, where they think, well, I'm going to go eat a pizza after pre-judging because I think it's pretty much done. And guess what? It's not. And that can rebound on you. And I've seen places change. I mean, I've had results in my hand at the night show when I'm hosting shows. And I'll get the hold on signal from the head judge, and guess what? The guy moves from second to fourth, so these guys have to be on their game.
Absolutely. Please welcome to the stage this evening's Master of Ceremonies, Tony Doherty.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Tony Doherty's my name. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. They said to say a little bit about me so you get to know me. I first came here to Columbus, Ohio in 1991. And I thought two things. One, I'm going to bring the Arnold Classic
Tony
to Australia
Doherty
one
taking
day.
the mic, taking over for our good friend Lonnie Tieper, longtime MC here at the Arnold.
So 5 years ago,
will change this year in the
we
direction
started the
that
Arnold
Tony is
Classic
no
Australia.
stranger to
We'll
the
do our
Arnold
5th
stages.
edition
He actually puts on his
next
own
week.
Arnold. That's, of course, the Arnold
weeks in
Classic
Melbourne,
Australia.
and,
Tony.
Eu também achei o Rafael tava mais cheio,
Tony
galera.
is a great friend, a really good guy, an excellent MC, and
Vocês que estão aí, que já puder, já deixa o like aí. Vamos ver se essa live fica mais acessada que a última live aí, galera. Vamos dar essa moral. Começar as finais agora, vamos ver o que é que vai dar.
Tony Doherty. So this is a great opportunity, and glad to see Tony in that all too familiar spot up on the stage behind that podium with the microphone. But he'll definitely lend a little bit to this competition here tonight. As you can see, another great set design here at the Arnold. I mean, listen, you don't need much more than the name Arnold on the stage to tell you exactly where you are and what's going on.
Of course, we have his classic pose. You know, we saw on some of the social media earlier today, I noticed Arnold had gotten back out by the statue and hit a shot. This is last year having Cederick come out here, and the year before last, having Cederick come out there and hit that shot. It's really cool.
Well, we talked about some of the other guys in our preview, and Cederick being one of them now. Cedrick's a former Arnold Classic winner, and obviously everybody knows Cedric. He's dangerous anytime he gets onto that stage.
Deu uma aparência que o Brandão estava mais cheio. Vamos ver como quando ele competir. Normalmente os atletas sobem mais cheio na final.
Can he sharpen up enough to get into the top 5? I don't think he's going to be able to sharpen up enough for the top 5. No way. No.
You know, Cedric has that beautiful shape. You know, nobody can deny that he is about as statuesque and Arnold-esque as you get. But yeah, I don't know. Bob.
A hora do Brandon agora.
All right. Well, you're seeing your very first competitor take the stage, and he might be the first competitor in the winner's circle. When the end of the night comes and the smoke clears. This is Brandon Curry, and as you can see, Brandon has just made tremendous progress over the past couple of years.
Parece que esse ano não vai ter a música.
Contender to the title, and let's just take it in here and then see what Brandon's done with his posing and his presentation.
O Brandon tá muito bem. Tá show de bola. Edmar, não sou eu que tô fazendo comida, é minha esposa. Valeu, Bruno. Galera, quem puder, deixa o like aí, dá essa moral.
Aaron, as you can see, Brandon just with an outstanding physique on the stage in all areas. I mean, he's got just great muscularity, symmetry, proportion, conditioning, presentation is spot on. Again, a consummate professional again, over all these years, but you can really see where he's got, it looks like somebody squeezed him in the middle. He's got that tiny, tiny waist, the broad shoulders, and he's brought his legs up. That was a weak point years ago, Aaron, but it's not a weak point anymore.
He is really, he's done a great job of keeping those classic proportions and adding that size. And honestly, that's really the issue that you see with some of these guys as they get bigger and add muscle, especially 30 pounds plus of muscle. You get that blown out midsection. Even we can see with William Bonac, the one thing, a critical thing would say is as he gains more muscle, that is something he needs to be conscious of.
You're seeing it right there. I mean, that back lat spread and that back double bind, Nick, is second to none probably on the stage here tonight. If they're going to beat Brandon Curry, that's where they're going to have to beat him.
Especially with that small waist and that V-taper effect. I mean, Brandon is one of the best in the game when it comes to the midsection.
Although our next athlete's been on the pro scene for quite a while and done quite a bit, this is his inaugural debut in Columbus, Ohio. He's from Pompton Lakes, New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Akeem Williams.
All right, big Akeem Williams taking the stage. And when you say big, I don't think there's anybody actually bigger on the stage tonight than Akeem Williams. This guy's packing more muscle per inch than anybody out there, Aaron.
He is absolutely huge. I mean, when he came out this morning at prejudging, I mean, not only is he huge for Akeem Williams, he's also in really great shape. So he came out extremely round, extremely full, and in excellent condition. I was very impressed with Akeem compared to other outings I've seen him at.
Nick, if there's a critique on Akeem over the past few years, it's that he's big enough and he's got plenty of muscle to boot. And he's actually put together fairly well for a big man. It's that conditioning. It's getting that skin thin where you can see more striation, more separation through the muscle groups. What are you seeing here tonight?
I would say it almost looks like he has a film of water over his entire physique that kind of prevents you from really seeing the muscle clarity as clearly as some of the other guys.
It's something that he's been, fighting since he got to become a pro.
Akeem Williams está melhorando, cada vez ele evolui um pouco, né? Sobe menos retiro do que subia alguns tempos atrás. Que bom, esse ano o Arnold Classic os caras fizeram a apresentação individual sem música. Aí isso aí não ferra com a live, né? Quando você termina a live, você pode deixar lá no YouTube que você não vai tomar, não vai receber reivindicação. Quem puder, galera, deixa a força do like aí.
I think that's as much funk as you're going to see out of Akeem here tonight. But listen, big man, stay with the big stuff. Hit 15 most musculars and get off the stage.
Pro debut here last year, first time in Columbus, placed in the top 10. Went out to Australia where he moved into the top 5. But what we noticed about him is he's hardcore. And the fans love him, ladies and gentlemen. And I know you're out there for him tonight. From the UK, please welcome Luke Sandow.
All right, one of the newcomers onto the scene in the last couple of years, big Luke Sandow representing the United Kingdom. And Luke has really brought it up over the last couple of years. You can see the improvements he's made, especially in his conditioning area. That's where he had the size last year, but he just did not have the conditioning. Now it looks like he's got a great combination of the two, and he got some great call-outs this morning. Looked like he was in...
O Luke Sandon deu a evoluída bizarra, né, velho? Particularmente, eu acho que poucas pessoas esperavam que ele desse esse boom aí que ele deu no físico. Aparentemente tá até melhor do que na prévia.
And it was kind of almost an ambitious goal because last year he was out of the top 10, you know, and he did great in Australia the following 2 weeks, but at this show it was very disappointing.
Pra isso, mano, a dorsal do cara tá boa pra cacete.
And man, he couldn't be any happier. I mean, he is just, you know, over
Quem
the moon
diria?
with how he did.
Galera, quem puder dar o like aí, ó, deixa o like pra fortalecer. Aí tem gente falando que nem recebeu a notificação da live aí. Se vocês puderem dar essa força.
Luke seems to wear it well, but you know, the biggest difference I see between last year and this year, Nick, is polish.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot better conditioning this year. Actually, one of the better conditioned guys in the show.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. We had a conversation about the beard.
E creio que seja a primeira vez em que um youtuber é chamado para ser comentarista de um evento como esse, né? Como é o caso do Nick, que tá aí entre os comentaristas.
Our next athlete is no stranger here in Columbus. He's competed 5 times before, but always in the 212 class. Well, he got bigger, and he's back, ladies and gentlemen, in the open. From Greenville, South Carolina, please welcome Charles Dixon.
All right, there's a reason they call him the Tank. Charles Dixon is wide as he is tall.
Former 212 competitor who made the transition to an open bodybuilder because, well, there's no 212 here right now. So he decided to make the jump, and he is certainly a big little man.
Well, here's the problem I see, and I love Charles Dixon. We go way back. He's always in a good mood. He's just one of those guys you just gotta like, you know. But what I saw this morning was, and I applaud his decision because there is no 212er this year to go into the open. However, to me, what it showed was that there's a reason that there's a 212 division. Exactly. As big as Charles is in that division, he looked like a kid out there next to these guys.
I actually just talked to him at the meet and greet, and he said he's just happy to have the opportunity to still be able to compete at the Arnold, so he's just happy to be here.
I like Charles. He is one hell of a good guy, and he is always happy. That's something you can always count on, a smile from Charles.
Charles Dixon vacilou mesmo, foi subir na categoria Open. Não tem nem chance, né?
He wants to go to 212, he wants to go in the open. So, again, I applaud his decision to enter the show. I'm sure he's not going to be pleased with it. He's eventually placing. However, he's in a no-lose. I mean, at this point, listen, you go in, get a taste of the Arnold stage, mix it up with the big boys, and see what you got. And the nice thing is, Aaron, if he wants to go to a 212 show next month on the calendar or anywhere throughout the year for the Pro League, he can do that.
Yeah. And he's been very successful as a 212 pro, so just because he won't place well here tonight doesn't mean he doesn't have a bright future in the 212 category.
No, make no mistake, this guy's a threat in any 212 show he enters, and I'm guaranteed.
Obrigado, Luiz. Obrigado pela oferta aí. Tamo junto, bro.
Now, this guy was 4th here last year. Wanted to improve on that. Went out to Australia 2 weeks later and won the whole thing, beating the winner from here and created a little bit of a rivalry. He was 3rd in the Olympia. He's originally from Curaçao in the Caribbean, ladies and gentlemen, but lives in Holland.
Vamos ver o Winkler agora.
They call him the Beast. Please welcome to the stage the one and only Rouille Winkler.
All right, here comes the Beast, Rouille Winkler, taking the stage, and this was a guy obviously coming in with a lot of hype. As he was not only in the top 3 at the Olympia, but the People's Champ this past year. Now, that was pretty cool to see because everybody loves Rouille Winkler. You talk about a guy with a great personality, but the people overwhelmingly voting him as the People's Champ. Nick, what are you seeing tonight?
He looks a little bit improved to me.
Deu uma enxugada, filha da mãe.
but still definitely not his best showing.
At the Olympia, Bob, a lot of people were talking about Rouille as not only a people's champ, people were saying maybe he should have won even. So, you know, it's definitely, this show was his to win for sure. If he was 100%, I think Rouille Winkler walks away with this thing. And unfortunately, Rouille Winkler, not at 100%, is nowhere near. I mean, there's a big difference between Rouille at 90% and Rouille at 100.
Well, Rouille is doing Australia in 2 weeks, and you can see from that pose right there, just that little bit of, just that little hint, that little film of water, and that's enough at this level to take it down a few notches. That will all be gone within 2 weeks, I can guarantee you. Watch the physique you see on the Australia Arnold stage as compared here tonight, and you see how important it is and how fast that body can change.
He literally, Bobby, literally looks 2 weeks out. So at the Arnold Australia, he could come in and really shock people, because he certainly has all the tools and all the size he could possibly need.
Yeah, there's who's that guy down in front? Hey, buddy, get out of the way, man.
Arnold Snapchat.
Eu acho que vai mudar um pouco aí essa história, viu? O Winkler deu uma secada, provavelmente vai entrar nos primeiros confrontos.
He's right down there in front. Of course, the athletes love it when they see him down there. They get right in the camera, you know, signify that they see that, they see he's there.
Rouille is freaky, most muscular. That's usually the showstopper, Bob.
You know, one thing, Nick, you can see with these guys like Rouille, right now I'm just guessing he's probably got 5-6 pounds to drop, maybe 7 pounds, somewhere in that range. He's a big dude. I mean,
you can really see it in the lower body there.
Exactly. But it makes them a little blockier looking. You can see his physique looks much more streamlined when he's down at 5-6 pounds. And my prediction, you'll see it in 2 weeks.
His second time here in Columbus, Ohio. The first time was in 2016, where he placed third in his first ever Arnold Classic. Went on to win the Tampa Pro. He's one of the biggest guys in the sport.
Josh.
He's big, he's bad, and he's back, ladies and gentlemen, from Melbourne, Australia, Josh Lenardowitz.
All right, well, the king of the gym, they call him, Josh Lenardowitz. Yeah, Tony might be a little bit biased on that intro because that's his boy. He is from Australia. So, and we have seen Josh grow up in this industry the last couple of years. And I know you spent a lot of time with Josh and when Dallas, you know, was with us. And big shout out to Dallas up there in that big gym in the sky. But Josh has carried it on very well, and you can see where the improvements he's made. He came in a little bit soft this morning. I thought he just needed to trim it up. And, you know, probably the same thing as like Rouille, maybe 5-6 pounds, and he would have been in contention. But man, you can see the muscle this kid's put on.
Crazy vascularity too.
Yeah, he got to spend quite a bit of time down in Boca Raton and actually live with Dallas for a few months before the Olympia. And he's a great guy and certainly trains very, very hard. You know, him and Dallas are great training partners because both of them are pushing some crazy weight, and you can see that looking at Josh's physique. At 280 pounds or so.
Quem tá fazendo a pipoca é minha esposa, brothers.
I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up, but listen, I'm a Joe Cocker fan like anybody, all right? But the love music, man, these guys are killing me. They're killing me out. Listen, here's a guy, he's 290 pounds on freaking stage, right? Looks like Mr. Clean, right? Bringing it out to the play. I got to be hitting most musculars to AC/DC or something, stomping around on that stage like freaking Godzilla. I'm not a big fan of the love music, man. People are sleeping in the third row right now.
He's trying to set the mood.
What kind of
mood for what?
Unfortunately, I'm sure everybody out there is taking a look at Josh and saying, man, if he would have just been a little bit harder, a little bit drier, he would have really been up there. I know earlier in our preview, a lot of people were saying Josh is going to take this thing, and unfortunately, he's just nowhere near 100.
Valeu, Wesley, obrigado. Galera, deixa o like aí, fortalece essa live aí. Tá muito pouco agora. Mais cedo tava com mais de 1000 pessoas, agora tá só com 480.
But that's got more to do with the training, the posing practice.
Eu com sono, mano? Sono de quê? Tá maluco? Esses dias eu tô com problema que eu tô sem sono.
And you might be looking at your next champ.
Absolutely. Another guy who's going to be competing, obviously, in Australia, so it'll be interesting to see what he looks like 5 or 10 pounds down.
Well, that's hometown for Josh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you got any
Great to see
groundswell
the
support,
fantastic
you got Mom, Dad,
routines
Sister,
tonight.
and Uncle Junior
Arnold
coming out.
himself
Oh,
said
yeah.
that we
They're
want
coming
to
up to
improve
see
the
his
posing
Mr.
and the
Australia.
performances
They
of all
love
the guys
him in
have
Australia.
lifted.
I mean,
In fact, the best posing award is back, the Ed Corney posing award, which will be presented at the end of the greatest poser ever. And it's really made the guys lift their game, which is great to see. Our next competitor won this show in 2007. He won the first Arnold Classic in Spain in 2011. Originally from the Dominican Republic, ladies and gentlemen, and now residing in New York, New York. Please welcome Victor Martinez.
All right, the Dominican Dominator still added. Victor Martinez. I was on stage with this guy, Aaron. He turned pro the same year I did, winning the 2000 Nationals. I had won the USA.
Valeu, Wesley. Tamo junto.
We are 19 years later, and he's still doing it. Crazy.
he's what, Bob? He's 45?
46?
46?
O Victor,
The fact you can still
infelizmente, não tá com o volume que já teve, e nem perto, né?
Can you imagine yourself up
Subiu
there, Bob?
pequeno.
I'm on stage all the time, Aaron, as you know,
you're
but,
right,
but
you're right.
I got a different suit on these days.
Yes.
No, I can't imagine it. This is a testament to, his ability to focus, to keep doing this. And I tell you what, listen, he still looks good. I mean, he's lost a little bit. He's lost a step along the way from the Victor Martinez we remember when he was battling it out for the title of Mr. Olympia. And a lot of people had him winning the Olympia back in 07 against Jay Cutler. But listen, he's not far behind, I tell you that. He's still
O
bringing it.
Rouille está, você quer dizer, blefando a final, hein? Não entendi, não.
With Victor now, I know he was probably unhappy with his call out this morning. He was in the last call
Giovanni Aranha respondeu o que? Eu não vi o que você comentou. Tô prestando atenção no evento, aí por isso que às vezes eu não consigo ver todos os comentários. Tá mais seco sim, o Winkler ele deu uma enxugada melhor.
I'll tell you this, Nick, the fans love Victor Martinez. He is always amongst the favorites every year. The fans simply flock to him. Victor's probably one of the most just, down home, just laid back guys I've ever met in my life. If he was any more mellow, he'd be going backwards, I swear.
Well, don't forget, Bob, he's a former Arnold Classic champion, 2007.
You can see the back is still amongst the best, even at his age and with all these years of training. And listen, it's a miracle just staying injury-free when you've been training this long.
Yeah. And from the front, when you see him from the upper body and from the front, he really hasn't lost much at all,
Now, anytime you're talking about the pro league and the level of bodybuilding at the best in the world, you don't have to lose a lot to slip a whole bunch of places. I mean, you got the new dogs coming up. I mean, he's literally competing against guys half his age here. So we tip our hat, to Victor Martinez for still bringing it. But you got to be realistic also in that his placing, unfortunately, is not going to be what he was looking for. But that's the life of any athlete.
Victor Martinez.
Marcelo Saldanha, se eu vou fazer um vídeo sobre Moisés, cara, não tem sentido.
He's a new kid on the block and everyone's talking about him. The prejudging today, people went crazy over this guy. So remember this name, ladies and gentlemen, from Brazil, Raphael Brando.
Well, we go from the old lion to the new guy, Raphael Brando. This guy's from Brazil. He's relatively new onto the scene, but he kind of burst on last year. This kid's got a great future. I love his physique. He needs a little bit of thickness. I mean, you can see just right there the difference between a Victor Martinez, who's been training probably longer than this guy's been on the earth, and what he's bringing. But you know what? What a great start to his bodybuilding career. He's got to thicken up. He's got to mature a little bit. But, man, he's complete, and he's bringing it, Nick.
Very aesthetic and great lines as well.
And he's a very young guy. I think he's in his mid-20s, like you, Nick.
He's like my age,
your age.
See, that's what you should be looking like, Nick. Underachiever. Look at it. He's on the Arnold stage, and you're sitting here with us idiots, you know? What you'll see with Raphael is he's got all the... I'd almost want to see him in classic physique.
Yeah.
You know, like you can make a case for this guy being in classic because he's got all those attributes. He's got the small waist. He's got the thinner build, even though he's obviously tremendously muscular. You can see just by that pose right there, very Bob Paris. If I'm picking a guy to kind of liken him to.
Very good comparison.
And when he hits back shots, which he will in a moment, you'll see the kind of condition. He is in great condition at this show. It's just that lack of size that separates him from the top guys.
I'll tell you this, some of the top guys were off enough that he may overtake some of those guys.
Yeah.
So you might be lacking a little bit in size, but you can see right there the thickness in the back is not of the veterans of a Rouille Winkler or Jocelyn Ardowitz. But he brings other things to the table. He's got more separation than a lot of those guys too. So
And a smaller waist.
Small waist, and that's, you know, Arnold's a big fan of the small waist. That's why he's out there right now.
Great separation in the lower body, Bob.
Yeah, his legs, you can see, are clearly ahead of his upper body. But you know what? You can bring... It's hard to get legs. If you don't have legs by his age, chances are they ain't
Tô
coming.
vendo a galera comentando
That comes through maturity and time in the gym.
Classic Physique. Cara, longe disso. O Rafael é um menino ainda. Início de carreira ainda.
I can see the people backstage dancing around there. It's fantastic. Our next competitor hardly needs an introduction because he's been here 5 or 6 times before. Last time he won was in 2017. Arnold went to interview him and he interviewed Arnold. It was probably one of the most viewed things we've ever seen in our sport. We love him, ladies and gentlemen. He's from Heath Springs, South Carolina. Cederick Mcmillian.
All right, Big Mac, Cederick Mcmillian. No stranger to the Arnold Classic stage, a former champion from just a couple of years ago. He was one of those names thrown around as one of the contenders to come in. And of course, Cedric's a contender in any show he goes in. But I don't think we saw the Cedric we were hoping to see. He's always riding that fine line between coming in too big and listen, when he's big, he's round, he's full, he's got a lot of butt, but he lacks the separation and the conditioning. If he gets the conditioning, he seems a little bit stringy.
Yes.
And he's lacking the fullness and roundness that he needs to win. So he's got a very thin tightrope that he's got to get on to achieve that. I'm not so sure which side of the line he's on this show. All I know is this is not the best Cedric that we've seen.
Yeah, he's full and big for sure, but it's almost like with Cedric, you got like a 50-50 shot. You're not 100% sure what you're going to get. And as soon as he walked out at prejudging, just seeing his legs and the lack of a lot of detail as he was walking onto the stage, I was like, oh, you know.
The midsection too.
Yeah, the midsection doesn't have the deepest abs, so there's a little water, you miss some stuff.
Well, you know what? It's a good eye, Nick. As you can see right there, I mean, I've seen abs on Cedric better than this, like when he won 2 years ago. His abs were etched deep in there, and you can see, but even in that pose right there, and he's got some classic poses. Let's not mince words, but you can see from the picture of Cedric behind him, what he brings to the table, what he can bring.
Oh, Bob, what does he got here?
I have no idea. You know, one thing I love about Cedric is you never really know, what's coming next. But the blind double bicep. I mean, I'm not quite sure what we're going here, but.
Mr. Miyagi.
Does it help to see as you pose, Bob? I don't know. I don't know if that's an advantage or a disadvantage.
I don't know. It's not like you're basketball. I mean, I'm not quite sure how the fight is hard or tough. If we painted it green, he'd be one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It's entertaining, at least.
I find it confusing.
Hoping the judges turn a blind eye to this because props actually are against the rules, but you know, it's Tonight Show finals, and it is not for prejudging, so hopefully they'll just overlook it. No pun intended there.
Yeah, I got that one, Bob.
Thank you.
I wonder what Arnold's thinking. They're giving away $10,000 for the best poser tonight. Do you think this is Cedrick's kind of ploy to get the $10,000?
If he wins, we'll never see it coming, bro.
It could be blind luck.
Surprised he didn't put it on Arnold's head. You know, Cedric, he likes to have fun with the Terminator.
Cederick Mcmillian, ladies and gentlemen. The next guy is a very experienced competitor. He's been on this stage many times, but in 2014, he became one of the very few Arnold Classic winners when he won in Brazil. He's a firefighter, ladies and gentlemen.
Steve
From
Kukla agora.
Dallas, Texas. Welcome, Steve Kuklo.
All right, Big Steve Kuklo. They call him the King Snake, and he always comes with an entourage. Mom, Dad, his beautiful wife, Amanda, also an IFBB pro in attendance. And, you know, Aaron, Steve's one of those guys I've looked at for years, and I thought to myself, he's got every attribute to be a Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
Like, this guy should be up there. Now, he hasn't quite fulfilled that yet. I mean, he seems to be getting better and better, but how many years do we give these guys for, you know, fulfilling potential?
Yeah, it's one of those things where Steve is one of the many, many guys. When he came in, you're like, this is the future. This is future Mr. Olympia. I think, Bob, after about a decade, right, that starts to wear away. But I tell you what, Steve is absolutely one of the best Steves that I've seen here.
Fantastic conditioning.
Galera, quem puder já deixa o like aí, fortalece aí.
Literally changes hour by hour, and it's difficult for him, and has been in the past, to kind of really just nail the conditioning. And when he's nailed it, I mean, he's won. He actually won the Arnold Brazil, I think it was, a couple years back.
He just won the Indy Pro in 2018.
That's right, the Indy Pro also, but it just seems to be a hit or miss with Steve.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, those back poses that, you know, you can see, again here, I mean, I know they're pictures, but that picture right behind him, you can see the conditioning is a little more crisp. You know, the separation is fantastic. And here, it's just that little bit, that little film, you know, you just got to wring it out like just a hair. I don't know what Steve's schedules, if he's going to Australia. I tell you what, all these big boys, Australia is lining up to be a hell of a show.
Yeah. And Steve is definitely one of the bigger bodybuilders. You know, he's probably on stage in the 270s, high 260s, 270s. And I know, Bob, right, being one of the bigger guys yourself, it's tough to see the scale move down and you get smaller. And a lot of times what to be serving them the best is to lose an extra few pounds.
Oh, there's no question about it. Listen, bodybuilding is all about illusion. I mean, it doesn't, you can be 290 pounds here, but I tell you what, I'd rather be 270 and win.
Valeu, Ezequiel, obrigado.
At least you like the music a little better this time, huh, Bob?
Yeah, see, now, Steve's got it. See, big boy out there, you know,
Was that Ozzy Osbourne?
280 pounder out there. He's got some rockin' music. He's, you know, stomping around the stage and working the crowd. That's what I like to see out of the big boys. Don't try to be graceful and all that stuff. You look like a damn bulldozer out there.
Yep.
Big Steve Kuklo. Thank you, Steve. We have a tradition here in Columbus that when somebody wins the amateur overall and they get their pro card, they get invited to come and make their pro debut here in Columbus, Ohio. So this guy was our winner last year. It's his first time on a pro stage here. He's all the way from Russia, ladies and gentlemen, so let's make him welcome. Mikhail Bolinkin.
Obrigado, Douglas Mendes. Tamo junto, mano. Obrigado mesmo.
Listen, we do have some breakdancing going on out there. How about that? Whoa.
É, Micaium, faça isso aí porque com shape tá difícil.
That's a relatively newcomer here with Mikhail. I don't know a lot about his background.
He won the Arnold Amateur last year.
I was just going to say, Nick, as usual, my friend, you were on point.
He's also younger than me.
Is he?
Yeah, by a couple months.
See, now, this is the cool thing, is a young guy like this, like I say, about your age, Nick, what a great opportunity, let the Arnold Amateur winners come out here and compete, qualify for this competition. And again, you can see the differences. I mean, you can see he doesn't have the level of muscularity or the thickness, nor should he at your age.
Right.
I mean, you don't have enough years in the gym just to get there at this point. So this is
Decent
all about
conditioning,
experience. Yes, conditioning is good. I mean, that's one thing about the smaller guys is they can't get the conditioning. But you can see the difference between the amateurs and the professionals right here, Aaron, with the level of density, thickness. But what a great start to his career.
Definitely some gymnastics or something in his background, right?
Virou ginástica olímpica agora.
Tying my shoes in the morning, all right? So this guy can do that stuff. All the power to him.
Something to get noticed. That kind of works. Out of nowhere, backflips and all kinds of things. Our next and final competitor, ladies and gentlemen, has taken the bodybuilding world by storm. First, second and third places in every show he's done in the last couple of years. He won last year, so he is our defending and current champion, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. The Conqueror. From the Netherlands, welcome, William Bonac.
All right, the champ is here. He is your defending champion, the Conqueror, William Bonac. And one thing you're going to see about William is he has every single bit of everything that a veteran brings to the stage. Size, thickness, muscularity, conditioning. There's a reason that this guy is up in that top 2 or 3 at the Olympia now. And he ain't the tallest guy out there, Aaron, but I tell you what, he makes up for it. And look at that dense muscle right there.
Started out as a 212 guy, Bob. So, I mean, it's crazy. Height-wise, he was able to put on all this muscle and be so successful in the open division.
And you talk about density, wait until he turns around and you can see the density in his back.
Well, that was the difference I saw this morning between William Bonac and Brandon Curry is when they turned around. Now, not to take away from Brandon Curry, because I still think that, even though I got William beating him from the back, by contrast, I have Brandon Curry beating William from the front.
Yep.
And listen, all things are equal here. I mean, all parts are considered, all poses are considered. That's why we have mandatory poses, is to see the body and the physique in different poses to establish who's put together the best.
Bob, if shows are won from the back, I don't know.
Well, that's a nice old saying we like to use all the time, but they're not one from the back. You know what? They're one from the back, from the front, from the side, from the presentation, from the conditioning. So that's a nice phrase to use when somebody's actually beating somebody from the back. But
yeah, he is incredibly hard. He's like etched from granite.
well, I'll tell you this: it was close enough between these two guys this morning that I think you're going to see it come down to tonight. The judges are scoring tonight, like I mentioned, so I think it's probably a 1 or 2 point decision coming out of prejudging. Just a guess on that one, but the difference I think is the midsection. And what
Also the
Brandon
lower
Curry
body.
has over William Bonac is you can see when Williams he tends to relax the midsection just a little bit, but again he's short and stumpy,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
and has a whole lot of muscle over Brandon. But man, Brandon's just got that tiny waist. To me, that's the difference between these guys tonight.
The one scary thing for William is as he continues to improve, when you're talking about improving, he can't get a lot harder. You know, he's in such great shape. So adding muscle is almost a scary thing for William because, like you said, because that short midsection, you don't want to add too much there.
No, actually, he almost needs to taper off his training a little bit, and in particular, I would not be doing powerlifting movements. I would not be doing deadlifts, things like that. His lats go right into his hip bones, you know what I mean? Now, that can be good or that can be bad, and as bodybuilders get older, you tend to get a little bit thicker in the middle. So
You can see it.
hopefully he's smart with his training, and, you know, we'll see it as these guys will be coming out to the
Thank you, William
comparison
Bonac.
in just a few moments.
That concludes round 3. And round 3 was the posing round, and Arnold Classics all over the world, the posing round is judged. As we said earlier, there's a posing award tonight, which Arnold will tell us about later and what that means to him. But I think the guys really lifted, ladies and gentlemen, so let's put your hands together for all those fantastic posing routines. We're going to bring them all back out in just a second. Now we go to what we call the confirmation round. Now, for those of you that are new to bodybuilding, at the pre-judging, some of the guys might have mistimed it a little bit. Some of the judges may have been unsure between this place and that place, and they got the chance to see them pose and to see them dry out or carb up a little bit more. And now the judges have one more chance to compare the guys and see where they're going to finish. So this is being judged live, ladies and gentlemen, and I think you can be a part of it by encouraging them and clapping and cheering and all that kind of thing. So let's hand it over to Steve Weinberger, our head judge now, for the confirmation round.
Thank you, Tony. In numerical order, Brandon, Luke, Cedric, and William.
So we're starting the comparison round here,
Cedric
Bob.
and William, switch, please.
All right, now this is where you separate the men from the boys.
And Bob, this is a surprise in this top 4 here, this first call out. We thought that that Cedric was not in the top, really the top 5 we were saying earlier.
Yeah, well, depending on how head judge Steve Weinberger does these call-outs, he will give guys an opportunity to move up or down. So yeah, we are seeing Cedric has been kind of added into that top 4, projected top 4 call-out.
And that would explain the comparison we saw at prejudging between Cedric and Luke.
Exactly right, Nick, because it was kind of an odd call-out, I thought. As head judge Steve Weinberger called out a comparison between Luke Sandow and Cedric. And I thought it was a little bit oddly placed, but now you see Cedric, they clearly feel, is getting a little bit better, and Luke seems to be holding his own here. If I was a betting man, I would say this is what your top 4. Now, what they might do, Aaron, is leave a couple of guys and pull a couple of guys.
Right.
Hypothetically, if they pull back William and Brandon, then you're looking at 1 or 2 either way. And what they do sometimes is they'll leave Cedric out there, Luke, and then they'll bring somebody up, like a Josh Lenardowitz or somebody, or a Rouille Winkler. I'd be shocked if they didn't add those 2 guys into the mix as soon as they get done with this round.
Back double bicep.
Now here's that matchup we were talking about. Look at that back double bind between Brandon Curry and William Bonac.
If you're looking at the condition of these 4 gentlemen, certainly Cedric stands out in terms of condition or lack thereof, right?
I'll tell you this, Luke actually looks like he's getting better.
Yeah.
He looks a little sharper to me tonight than he actually did this morning. And as he poses, he seems to be getting a little bit sharper. I don't know if that's enough to move him up, but it might move him, keep him in third place. I don't know if Cedric has enough to catch Luke at this point. You can see that the conditioning is just slightly different between Brandon. Brandon Curry kind of has that hard, almost, I don't want to say grainy, but you know.
Cara, Luke Sando e a frente do Rouille é foda.
Is obviously in great condition also, but you can see there is a difference between these two guys. What a tremendous improvement from Brandon Curry from 3-4 years ago.
One thing about Brandon's presentation, too, is that he's always so picture perfect. I mean, if you look at his oil and his color, I mean, he really looks, I mean, certainly the best in terms of presentation.
Very polished.
Brandon's killing William in that front ab shot right there. So as much as William was beating him from the back in that back double by. And this shot's a toss-up, man. I tell you, hard to beat William Bonac, but he's got that much muscle on that frame.
I can tell you, the happiest guy to be up there is certainly Luke. Oh, they're bringing them all back.
So,
Brolly, Joshua.
all right, so he's
Raphael
dismissing
and
all
Steve.
four.
And so, Bob, nothing is written in stone, right? But that's a pretty good sign that that's our top four, right? Unless they're bringing him back in a little bit.
And you know what? You never know with Big Steve, man. He likes to mix and match. And the one thing I like, amongst many
Joshua and
about
Brolly,
Big Steve,
switch, please.
is he gives these guys an opportunity to compete.
Steve and Raphael,
Listen,
switch,
I would
please.
rather see too many comparisons rather than a lack of them, because bodybuilding is all about comparisons. So
Gentlemen,
give these
quarter
guys
turn
an
right.
opportunity, put it next to each other. The only thing I like to see sometimes, I like what I call crossover comparisons. I would have liked to have
Quarter
seen
turn.
either Luke or Cedric stay out there and have one of these guys have an opportunity to see if he's actually better than the guy who's projected to be fourth.
I'll tell you what, this morning,
Quarter turn.
Steve had him really work quite a bit. I mean, he was, yeah, I mean, it was one after another, so.
And listen,
Face
let's
front.
not make any mistake. The prejudging does count more, so to say, into the judging. Okay, this is what they call a
Front double
confirmation round
bicep.
of scoring. Okay, it's one last chance for the judge to get a look at the competitors and make any changes that they see fit. So it does count into the scoring, but the prejudging is you know, where you're making your bones out there.
Front lat spread.
Steve Kuklo looking pretty good in his lineup here.
Another good eye, Nick. Look at the young guy here. I tell you what, man, you are on the ball, my friend. Steve Kuklo looks like he's getting a little bit sharper as he goes.
Sharper than Rouille for sure.
Look at Raphael Brando. He looks like Steve's little brother.
Yeah.
Back double bicep.
Look at that. Look to your right, Raphael. That's what you're going to be looking like in another couple of years, buddy.
See, Josh, you know, really missed it.
Josh is fading. Yeah, he's fading out a little bit, spilling over.
Yeah.
He's still going to have a respectable finish here, but he's going to be a lot sharper in Australia. I can
Back
guarantee
lat
you.
spread.
Really doesn't look much different to me, Nick, than he did this morning. He looks about the same. And Raphael and Steve actually look a little bit sharper to me.
Yeah, Steve definitely looks sharper to me. Look at the vascularity in Steve's lower body.
Steve this morning wasn't in the
Side tricep.
wasn't in the mix as much as he is tonight, so they're definitely taking a better look at Steve tonight.
Get those arms on, really. There's only one other guy with arms like that in the pro league, and that's Phil Heath.
Yeah.
So you talk about having some arms.
Abdominals
boy.
and thighs.
Those arms are crazy.
And even in not 100%, he has cross striations all over his triceps.
Oh, yeah.
The kind of striations you generally don't see on basically anybody else.
You talk about making improvements. Really has done a complete 180 on his midsection over the last, 2 years ago, Nick. It wasn't that long ago that he was getting a lot of flack
From Arnold.
for being round in the middle. You know what I mean? And he's got the gut hanging and this and that. So for those people that attribute that to other factors, you can make improvements and bring that in. You know what most of that comes from, Nick?
What's that?
Food volume.
Really?
Yeah, again, they point to everything you can probably think of under this sun.
Thank you, gentlemen.
It's
Back
food
in line,
value.
please.
These guys eat tremendous amounts of food. That can keep your stomach out there, even when you're in contest
Akeem
shape. So a lot of the
Charles
guys,
Victor
obviously practice helps in controlling your abs, but spreading the meals out, actually making them smaller and having more throughout the day rather than big meals.
I've actually seen photos of Brolly wearing a waist trainer to keep the size of his waist down.
A lot of the guys are doing that now.
Charles, switch,
Which is
please.
You know what? It
New
doesn't
trend.
hurt.
doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt, yeah. I mean, listen, if it does 5%, great, you know.
Gentlemen, quarter turn right.
The one big thing that the guys need to keep conscious, and obviously we saw, at the last Olympia, how they're really marking down the midsections now.
Quarter turn.
Is in the transitions, because it's easy to remember to keep your midsection tight while you're hitting a pose, but in between poses,
Quarter turn.
if it slips your mind for a minute, that's a big problem.
Oh, trust me, I've been on that pro stage with those comparisons getting called out.
Oh,
You
yeah.
start sucking wind
Face front.
after about the third or fourth round of mandatories out there, and you better be in shape. You better be, that again, that's if you're going to let it go, that's
Front
where it's
double
going to go.
bicep.
Especially in those back poses when you think no one's looking, you let it hang out.
Aaron's exactly right. It's in the transition. You really got to be in pain.
Front lat spread.
Look at the physique on Akeem Williams. Now, out of these four guys, there are obviously four guys in four different times of their career. But Akeem Williams has all the attributes, man. He's got the muscle.
Side chest.
He's got the shape. He's just got to find a way to get that skin thin. And I tell you what, he's got to be winning some titles and beating some people.
He's got something like that hanging muscle, that you rarely see, especially for the lats from the front, kind of Ronnie Coleman-esque.
Back double bicep.
Tell you what, it's a game of inches, man. I mean, he's not. Look at that shot right there. Look at that shot of Akeem Williams. That's up there with anybody.
Yeah.
Just has to bring it down. But you can also
Back
see
lat
those little
spread.
folds in the skin, Nick. About halfway up that back. That's your difference.
That's that film I was talking about.
I don't think we've ever seen Akeem without the film. So
No.
I've never seen him. Like I said originally, this is about as good as
Side
He
tricep.
was up pretty good in, was it Tampa last year? I think it was, where he really brought it out there, and that's the closest I've seen him come to 100% conditioning. But he's got to find a formula that works. The one thing you need in the pro league is
Abdominals
consistency.
and thighs.
And that's where a Bonac really comes out head and shoulders above the rest, where you've never seen Bonac out of shape.
No.
Your favorite, most muscular. Thank you, gentlemen. Back in line, please. Luke, Rouille, Cederick, and Steve.
All right, now here's where the call-outs start to get interesting, is when they come back around. All right, so he went through the lineup once. And
galera, tá confirmado. Esse aí é o top 4. Hein?
Right here.
So they're trying to round out the top 6 here.
Well, you'll notice that the only two guys that ain't up there
Front double bicep.
Top two.
out of the top 6 is Bonac and, of course, Brandon Curry. So this is for 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Front lat spread.
Now, he may move some guys. If these guys stay like this, what you're looking at is probably
Ah, não,
Cedric
perdão.
third,
Perdão.
fourth, Kukla
Não é o
fifth,
top 4
Rouille
não.
sixth.
Já tiraram o Bonac e o Brandon. Aí já jogaram o Winkler e o Steve Kuklo à frente do Brandão. Então, se esse for aí o top 3 ao 6, o Brandão já tá fora do 6, né?
Yes, Rouille is definitely spilling over. And again, hats off to Luke Sandow, man. I got to tell you, his conditioning.
Vai ficar entre o
again,
7º e o 8º
started off good,
colocado.
and It's only gotten better as he's gone on, so good for him.
He's looking very crisp here in his back double bicep. Certainly the best condition of anybody up there in this call-out.
Back
That
lat
shape on
spread.
Cederick Mcmillian. I tell you, talk about God-given talent. You know, you talk about, and that's not to take away from his work ethic, but man, you talk about genetics. Look at that physique on Cederick.
Yeah, well, it speaks to the genetics and his capabilities if he does place third here in this lineup.
Side tricep. Abdominals and thighs.
Aaron, Luke's one of your athletes. How pleased is he right now to be in this position?
He's the happiest guy on the stage. There's no doubt about that. You know, he will be thrilled with fourth, thrilled with fifth, and ecstatic with third. So no matter how he ends up here, he's going to be happy.
Your favorite, most muscular.
When I went and saw him backstage, Bob, the big thing he said was he had so much fun.
That's what he said to me too.
Well, any of us that know Luke, he's a ball buster, man. I mean, he loves to
Thank
just
you,
joke
gentlemen.
around
Back
and
in
have
line.
fun. I mean, he's never too serious, you know. But I think that's good. I think it keeps him loose. You know, he doesn't get too tense.
Brandon and William.
Fired up. And
Yeah.
Cedrick is much the same way. I mean, Cedrick's a jokester, man.
Yeah, he's having fun.
All right, here we go. Now, you know what this means. I mean, this is down to these two guys.
Gentlemen, switch sides,
And
please.
both these guys, make no mistake, both these guys know right now this is for the title. They know it.
Yeah,
The
this is
fans know
serious
it, and the
business.
judges know it. You
Front
know, to
double
me,
bicep.
that's the difference right there in that front
The waist.
pose, Nick. The waist. That's the first thing that my eye is drawn to is that Brandon Curry's waist.
And that
is tight.
V-taper.
Look at that shot right there. Look at that V-taper compared to William.
Yeah, Brandon is a
Front laps
bigger
away.
guy, a heavier guy with a smaller waist.
Yeah.
So,
And I think his conditioning might be slightly better than Bonak's here.
Well, again, another good observation. You can see. Just look at the legs. Just
The
key
lower
in on
body,
the
yeah.
thighs between these two guys. Don't look at anything else. Just that. That tells you
Side
everything you
chest.
need to know about conditioning. This shot's about even for these guys. You can see the thickness on William. You can see the thickness on Brandon. But look at the side of the thigh. Once again, that's your margin.
Back double
Brandon
bicep.
Curry's 10% sharper than William Bonak. Now,
this
this
Williams
is what negates everything
Yeah.
we just said. Okay, because you're going to get to this point, and guess what? Williams got one of the best backs in the world.
He's like a mini Kai Green.
Yeah.
The thing about Williams' back, too, is that he has details that other people just don't have, you know?
Just thickness, just thick muscle. And listen, at the end of the day, it's still
Back
a muscle
lat spread.
contest.
He has those lower lat striations, like the mini Kai Green, as you
Oh,
said. Yeah.
That's a pose right there that Brandon Curry has worked very hard on bringing up over the years, and it has paid off in dividends right here because he's hanging.
Yep.
He's hanging with Williams.
Side tricep.
Pra mim também, galera, o Brandon tá melhor. Se for levar em consideração a estética do cara e o conjunto que tá apresentando.
I'd give this pose to Brandon.
Oh, all day.
Yeah.
All day long.
Abdominals and thighs.
And you're going to give this pose to Brandon right here. So, now, William knows he's basically going to get beat in this pose. If he's
Who
a
do you
smart
like,
guy,
ladies and
he'll get
gentlemen?
out of that quick. Oh, there he goes. See? That's a veteran right there. Get to the side. Show him your serratus. Do not go heads up with Brandon Curry.
And Brandon's right there with him.
Well, Brandon
Nessa
gets
coisa aí o
Listen,
Bona
I mean,
fica
listen, that
ridículo.
waist. You can hear the fans getting into
Come
it
on,
now.
let's
cheering
light
for
this
their
place
favorites.
up.
This is where it gets fun, Aaron.
Brandon,
Yeah.
is it William?
Gentlemen, relax.
Brandon sure does look sharp right now.
2 steps back. Another step. Hit a front double bicep, please.
You can tell it's close because Big Steve just doesn't keep going for no good reason. So this isn't about just giving the fans a good show. I mean, it is that close between these two
Relax.
guys.
Face the statue and hit a back double bicep.
close with these two guys. Just two different physiques completely. But that to me solidifies it, Aaron. I mean, that shot right there, look at the difference just in the taper and the waistline.
Yeah.
And listen, it's not like Brandon's giving up a whole lot of muscle here.
Yeah.
And I think the small waist also creates the illusion that Brandon's a little bit wider than Bonac, too.
It does, and they're probably the same width, or maybe Bonac's even a little wider, but you're right, Nick, it's all about illusion. I mean, that's the only thing that matters on stage, smoke and mirrors.
Yep.
Your favorite
If you
most
actually
muscular?
count the shots and who's winning what shot, it looks like Brandon is ahead by 2. He said he certainly had the abs, hand overhead abdominal. He certainly had
Last pose,
side
gentlemen, hit
tricep,
it.
even on the side chest. What do you think here?
Look at the muscle right here on this angle of William Bonac. That's crazy.
Thank you, gentlemen. This concludes prejudging. Back to you, Tony.
Steve, you guys are doing an amazing job, but there's
Working
one
the
more
crowd a
thing
little
that we
bit.
have to do.
It's your call, Tony.
Guys, come forward, because I think the audience wants to see this. Everybody come to the front of the stage. Mr. Music, let's light it up, because we're going to hose down.
All right, Tony Doherty saying the magic words. Gentlemen, pose down. Now, the judging at this point is done. All right, the pose down is a great opportunity for the fans. You know, these guys horse around a little bit, have some fun, play it up. I'm sure Arnold will be down there in 2 seconds, Snapchatting away. But right now, they're tallying the scores. Right now, you're handing down your score of who you won. And this comes down to preponderance of the scoring. Okay, highs and lows are thrown out to ensure that the judging is fair.
Right.
Okay, so, you know.
So any outlier gets kicked out.
That's
so
right.
You only have the people in the middle, basically.
Yeah, let's just say, you know, you just didn't like William Bonac, okay, for whatever good reason. And you go, you know what, I'm going to put him in 6th place. Well, listen, you can do that as a judge, but you're probably not going to be a judge very long.
No.
Clearly you're out of your mind. But that 6 is going to get thrown out because it's a low. And vice versa. Now, listen, you can have a whole bunch of 1s on there, let's say half the panel, one of those is going to get thrown out. But it ensures integrity across the judging panel. And we do this for a reason in the Pro League, and that's to ensure that you can't do anything funky, you can't do anything weird. Now, listen, these are the best judges in the world right here.
Sean Ray.
Buddy Dan Solomon down there.
Yeah,
in the
there's
front row.
Dan.
Dan headlining things for the Olympia this year, so big shout out to Dan.
The guys are all going down, making this exciting for all the people in the audience.
This is
here.
always fun for the fans.
They love it.
Nick, in the past, you were actually down there with these guys coming
Many
up.
years.
You know, the one thing that's cool for the fans to see is how big these guys actually are.
Yeah.
Because on stage is one thing. It's an illusion, there's lighting, but when somebody's right there in front of you, you can see how thick and how big and massive that these guys are.
I can still remember seeing Dennis Wolf for the first time in the pump-up room backstage and just seeing how big he was in person. It was just like, you don't realize how big they are when you see them in the magazines. You see Dennis Wolf in person, he's crazy.
Oh, there's the Terminator. Look at
With his sunglasses
surprised
on.
you don't have the leather jacket on. Come with me if you want to live. All right, well, these guys are going to be wrapping up into the audience here. Hopefully one of them doesn't sneak off into the food court. I'm pretty sure they're pretty hungry right now. But all right, time for predictions, boys. All right, Aaron, you had your original prediction. You've now seen the night show. You've seen the comparisons. You've seen the pose down. And, of course, the inevitable one-on-one between Curry and Bonac. You still sticking with your pick, or are you coming to my side?
No, I suppose I'm coming to your side, Bob. I suppose I'm coming to your side.
Aaron is wise, my friend.
He solidified it. Brandon Curry solidified it for sure tonight. And where I was unsure this morning, I think tonight he was pretty solid. I think he's going to get all 1s, and I think he's going to take it tonight.
All right, Nick, are you still on board, or are you going to the dark side?
I'm sticking with Brandon. I think Brandon's going to take it.
Open Pro
I think honestly, Bob, the biggest difference
Bodybuilding.
between our predictions and what actually looks like is going to happen is Cederick Mcmillian surprising us.
He's a wild card. Now, make no mistake. I mean, any of those guys could have moved up. I think you can kind of flip a coin between Luke Sandow and Cederick McMillian, probably for that 3rd and 4th slot. But it's not going any other way but 1 and 2 between Curry and Bonac.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Sure.
Can you return to the stage? Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats, because there's plenty much more to come. mention Mikhail, who's about to walk up.
Your champion, the 2007 Arnold Classic bodybuilding champion, Victor Martinez.
He was second here last year by this much. He's about 6'2", about 280 pounds. Let's welcome Cederick Mcmillian.
Aí é pra falar de campeões, né, de Arnold Classic. Aí eles, eles continuaram com o nome do Cedric. Tirou o nome do, colocaram o nome do William Bonner.
Arnold Classic champion William Bonac.
São os 3 campeões que estão aí participando do evento.
Ryan, how did you get into Strongman Competitions?
I got into them completely for fun, actually. I played basketball through college and went into being a strength coach, and that kind of led me to Strongman in a way, and I needed another competitive outlet for myself, something where I was big and strong and I enjoyed training, so it seemed like a perfect fit.
How long have you been doing Strongman Competitions, and how did you get involved in them?
This is my 9th year. I got
Hard to believe it's been a year
involved.
since you've been in the winner's circle, man, but you got a battle out there.
Yeah, I do got a battle all day, Brandon has improved much, but still I feel confident about what you brought, and I feel even that we brought a better package than last year. So I think this is one of my best packages ever. So I'm happy with it. Me and my coach.
Well, Big Steve certainly gave you guys an opportunity. I mean, he put you in, he mixed you up, he spun you around about 4 times. I know you're dying out there when that's going on, but I tell you what, I'd rather get the comparisons than not.
Yeah, so so people can honestly give their opinion. You understand? So I believe it's a good thing, to give each other the chances, to challenge each other.
Now, even though you and Brandon are competitors out there, you can tell there's a very well, not just a difference, but I was going to say mutual respect. Like you say, you guys are battling, but man, you can see you're also having some fun out there too.
We have to, man, because it's war on stage, but outside of that, we just humans, we got the same passion, you understand? So we know what we feel, we know what we go through, so we respect each other for that, because it's not easy to come here and stand on stage, battle the best of the world, you understand? So I respect any athlete who comes here and who, better, even if he's out of the top 10, it doesn't matter, even the effort that you put into it, the 14 weeks prep, it's tough, man, so.
You hit on the other point I was going to bring up. You guys are apples and oranges, man. I mean, you don't have anything in common. Like I say, you got the thick, powerful, muscular physique. He's got this more streamlined, with the tiny waist and all that. But it makes an interesting dilemma for the judges, of course, because they got to kind of pick one way or the other here. You both bring things to the table. So it's interesting because you can kind of go back and forth between you guys, but you got a gut feeling Williams going to go your way tonight?
But the way I saw the pictures, the way I saw, the way you both look, I would pick myself.
Of course, yeah. As you should, my friend.
If it wasn't like that, I wouldn't pick myself, so. In that case, I would have picked myself, But yes, it's of course up to the judges,
Now, we're at the beginning of the season, obviously, the Arnold Classic kicking things off for the 2019 season, and you seem to like to compete. You seem to get better as you go throughout. What's the rest of the schedule looking at? Are you guys going to be in Australia in a couple of weeks?
Yes, we're going to first go to New Zealand, got a guest posting over there, and from there we go to Melbourne, Arnold Classic Australia.
All right, William, best of luck here later on tonight as we'll see who the winner is. We'll see if the champ repeats and is a two-time Arnold Classic champion. Best of luck, William. All right. All right, continuing coverage here at the Arnold Classic. Bikini coming up next, my favorite division. So you've seen the beast, now you're going to see the beauty.
And people love it. They've got huge followings. And they work just as hard as any of the other divisions.
Agora é a Bikini, né?
Great smiles and these great figures, and it really has taken the world by storm. We've got the best lineup we've ever had here in Columbus, Ohio, ladies and gentlemen. So let's meet the ladies competing in their final round of the competition. First, from Brazil, Alicia Puccini.
I need, in numerical order, I need 1, Isa Puccini. I need 2, Ashley Kaltwasser. I need 6, Jennifer Dory. I need 7, Janet Leah. 8, Marcia Conclaves. And 12, Lorelei Chapados. Need 2 and 6 to switch. And I can't see everybody's number, so I need Marcia and Isa to switch. Ladies, do a 180, face that back wall. And now you can do what we couldn't do this morning. Walk halfway back and hold it when you get there. Now face forward and walk it back. Ladies, I need Isa and Ashley to switch. Isa and Ashley, switch. One more time, do a 180, face that back wall. And face forward. Okay, ladies, thank you very much. You take a step back to either side. I need 4, Ashley Janelle. 11, Frida Paulson Stern. 10, Krista Bellina, Torres. 13, Monica Ellis. 14, Brina Martinez. 17, Camille Perriot. Okay, Janelle and Camille switch. Now do a 180, face that back wall. Now walk halfway back and hold it when you get there. Face forward and walk it back. Okay, thank you very much, ladies. Take a step back to either side. I need 3, Kim Gutierrez. 5, Rafaela Alegres. 9, Sonia Lewis. 15, Eli Fernandez. 16, Karina. And 18, Jessica Palmer. Okay, ladies, do a 180, face that back wall. Now walk halfway back and hold it when you get there. Now face forward and walk it back. Okay, thank you very much, ladies. You can take a step back to either side. That concludes our confirmation round. Back to you, Tony.
We're done?
Yes, I said that concludes the confirmation. I'm sorry, Tim.
Thank you, Sandy. All right, we'll ask all of our bikini athletes to exit on that side of the stage and congratulate every single one of them for being such amazing shape for you tonight. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, the Arnold Sports Festival here in Columbus welcomes lots of new athletes every year. And we had a record-breaking amount of athletes compete in our NPC Worldwide Amateur Bodybuilding competitions for the chance to win their pro cards. 700 plus. And they've all been judged, and we have our winners. And our new pros, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to introduce them to you, and remember their names, because some of them will be up here next year. Our Masters Figure Overall, Sissy Jola. Our Masters Bikini Overall, Paula Eileen. Our Men's Bodybuilding Overall Champion, Morgan Asti. Fitness Overall, Hayley Lizenba. Our Bikini Overall, Crystal Medina. Men's Physique winner, Eric Lisboa. And our Women's Physique winner, Catherine McLaurin. Take a bow, guys, and congratulations on your achievements. That's it. Back to the gym. Now we have our men's physique competition. And this is a new way of doing it. It was new to the Arnold Sports Festival in 2015, and it grew and grew and grew to the point we had so many go in it. So we made a rule that you had to be in the top 10 in one of the pro shows around the world to qualify to do an Arnold Classic. And they kept growing more and more. So we've got them here tonight, our top 6 after all the judging over the weekend. And our first competitor is from Texas, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Logan Franklin. Pittsburgh, welcome Raymond Edmonds. Thank you, Raymond. You're going to love this, ladies and gentlemen, because he's from Columbus, Ohio, USA, George Brown. From California, San Diego, welcome Kyron Holden. Welcome back to the physique division from New York, Cederick Mcmillian. Thank you, Cedric. From New York, Andre Ferguson. Thank you, Andre. Now we're going to hand it over to the judges again for their confirmation round. Over to you, Steve.
Thank you, Tony.
Raymond and George, switch, please. Andre, come in the middle of them, please. Right there. Logan and George, switch, please. Gentlemen, feet together, face the judges. Face the curtain. Face front. Thank you, gentlemen. This concludes our confirmation round. Back to you, Tony.
That's our physique division. They're in great shape again. They keep getting better and better. And of course, the physique round is the other round that's taken the world by storm. With that and the bikini, it's really made bodybuilding alive again. Because these bodies are achievable. Somebody could be working out in the gym and think, well, if I trained hard for a year or two, I could get the board shorts or the bikini and get up and compete and show all the hard work I've done. And then we find they graduate from there into the other divisions. The classic physique, which we had last night, was a great new division where the height and weight are limited. So you can't be so much bigger than the other guys. You don't get all the mass monsters. We keep that for the pro bodybuilding. So there's all these new categories that's made it so much more achievable. And these categories have all got great new fan bases, which are bringing more and more people into the sport, and of course into the Arnold Classic here in Columbus. The next thing we love, the Arnold Classic, is strongman, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Our event, check this out. Our event is now the biggest money strongman show in the world, bar none. It's moved ahead of anything else that was in the market. We now have a qualifying series right around the world. We're starting in 2 weeks in Melbourne. They can qualify to be here in Columbus. And every one of them has to do one of the smaller shows or one of the other Arnolds to qualify. In fact, Arnold himself just hosted a fantastic event a few weeks ago in Santa Monica. And they closed the whole pier off and set up all this strongman equipment on Santa Monica Pier, the historical site and the home of Muscle Beach. And the media came. It was the most incredible thing you've ever seen. It was packed. And that put our strongman event in front of thousands more new fans. And they loved it. And here at the Arnold Classic this weekend, we've had the most phenomenal strongman competition. We're going to meet some of the previous winners, and we're going to have an event on stage today, and we're going to light this place up. But I don't know how many of you are at the expo that saw what we call the Wheel of Pain. Did anybody see the Wheel of Pain? Wow. This is ridiculous. There's 20,000 pounds of pressure to push that thing around. It's like a replica from the first Conan movie. And they spent months and months making it. It really is the most incredible piece of equipment any of us has ever seen. And of course, all the guys in our crew and everyone tried to push it. And you can move it like about a metre or a yard. And then the sand in the barrel starts to roll against you, and then it pushes you back. So you think you're winning for just a second, then you're crushed. And then the strongmen come in, and they were doing laps with it like you wouldn't believe. So these guys really are huge, and they're strong. Now we're going to bring on some of our former champions, and to introduce them, please welcome our strongman hosts, Matt Eisman and Mark Henry.
Well, I'm coming out here first. I'm Matt Eisman. I'm the host of American Ninja Warrior. What are you doing? Don't you want your proper introduction?
Galera, agora eu acho que vai começar os campeonatos de Strongman, eu acho.
I kind of spoiled it. So what we're doing this year, to honor the great Terry Todd, we have assembled every previous winner of the Arnold Sports Classic Strongman Championship. We have the greatest strongmen in history, and you saw the first one. The man who won the inaugural Arnold Strongman back in 2002. He's
been my co-host all weekend. He's the WWE Hall of Fame. Twice he represented America, going to the Olympics as a U.S. weightlifter. And he is on stage with me all night long. Give it up for my man, the legendary Mark Henry! Next up, I know, you belong out here. Next up, this man didn't win it once, he didn't win it twice. He won it 8 times. He is one of the greatest strongmen in history. Zydrunas Savickas! A legendary American. You've heard this name so long. He's here with his daughter, and he's been having a tremendous time. Let him hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Derek Poundstone! Talk about an appropriate last name. And then a man who's won it 3 times. This year is his 10th time competing for you people. He's one of the great champions. He's from my home state of Colorado. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Shaw! Now, unfortunately, there is one champion who can't be with us. He passed away, but we'd still love you all to honor his memory. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Jenkins. And last night, if you were here, what I love about these strongmen is the support, because the governor brought out Miles Taylor, a kid with cerebral palsy, to do some lifts. Now, helping him load the weights were Mark Henry and this other champion, Vytautas Lalas, truly embodying the spirit of strongman. And the final champion here, the man who in just a few minutes will be competing for another title. He is one of the strongest men in history. He's known as the Mountain. From Iceland, welcome, Hafthor Julius Björnsson! These are the strongmen champions throughout history. 2 of them will be competing tonight, but we have a little video that shows you just what this is all about. Please take a look.
Are you ready for the strongest men in the world? They're the biggest, the baddest, one of the most athletic big men on the planet who can be competing here today. And we are looking forward to a show.
Record-breaking lift on the line for the Mountain.
Yeah! And like nothing!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. This is the Husafel Stone Carry. These athletes, Mark, they've been putting their blood and sweat and tears into it. These guys have been pouring everything into these, and I think one of the highlights was the Wheel of Pain. Just seeing the effort in there and seeing Novikov, this rookie, who last year was an amateur and now is competing with the big boys, have such a strong performance.
Normally the rookies tend to kind of know their role, kind of step back and, you know, wait their turn, but he didn't get the memo.
So, after 4 events, the man in the lead is the Mountain. Thor Pearson is in first place with 37.5 points. In second place, Martins Lises with 31.5. And in third place, the oldest man in the competition, 38 years old, the Siberian Force, Mikhail Shivlyakov. Now, we are getting ready for the stone to shoulder. You can see the man right there handling it. It's Ode Hagen. He is a legend in strongman. This is known as Ode Hagen's tombstone. And this thing weighs 410 pounds. The goal for these athletes is to lift it up, get it into your lap, from there, get it onto your shoulder. And Mark, you've done this. It's not enough to hold it on the shoulder. You have to remove it, control it with one hand. So we need to see the left hand out. You'll watch the judges. If the judges don't give a down signal, that means the stone was not controlled. They won't get full credit. And Mark, with 410 pounds, it's almost impossible to control that stone.
Well, the really impossible thing about it is that it's an oblong shape. There's no handles on it, so it's not like you can get a really fixed grip. You got to find a position that's comfortable for you, and each guy is different. Some guys like to really pull it close to them and pull, and then there's other guys that try to just throw it up on their shoulder, which is really hard to do, and you'll see that in a few minutes.
Now, one of the cool things is one of our great sponsors is from right here in Columbus, Ohio. Let's give them a round of applause for Rogue Fitness. They have been doing just about everything in this contest. But let me ask you folks, do you guys enjoy seeing history made? Let me ask you again, do you enjoy seeing history made? Because Rogue Fitness does. They want history to be made tonight on this stage. And right now, the record mark in this event is 4 reps of the stone to the shoulder. But if someone can do 5, Rogue's going big.
Well, at the last championships in California, we had 2 guys that repped it out like it was nobody's business. So I'm looking forward to seeing those 2 guys because
Galera, eu vou fechar a live que essa daí não é muito, eu não curto muito o Strongman. E eu vou adiantar aqui algumas coisas, fazer algumas preparação para vídeo, né? Que eu vou fazer o vídeo da revisão do Arnold. E só vai ser a premiação agora, beleza? Já teve a prévia, teve a final, então vai ser a prévia, ou a premiação. Então quem quiser assistir é só ir lá no site oficial da... Não, Miguel Alves, eu tenho bastante coisa ainda pra fazer e eu não vou ficar esperando esses caras do Strongman não. Aí vocês vão lá no canal do Arnold Sport Festival, aí lá vai ter, valeu? Não, eu tenho que fazer algumas coisas aqui no PC, não dá pra me deixar não. Valeu, vou adiantar pra fazer o vídeo aí da revisão e postar o mais breve possível. Eu não curto muito essa parada de Strongman não, eu tenho mais o que fazer. Pra quem gosta, Arnold Sport Festival, é só entrar no canal. Vou colocar o link aqui pra vocês. Vou colocar o link aí nos comentários.
Just because he's a 4-time world strongman, the man who introduced most of us to this sport, ladies and gentlemen, Magnus Ver Magnusson!
And my idol.
And our third judge, Carl Gillingham, a legend in the powerlifting community.
Aí, é só vocês pegarem aí o link, valeu? Vou ficando por aqui, valeu rapaziada, é nóis.